everyone, it's Jordan again, and for today I thought that I could maybe talk a little bit about an article that I just recently had to read for college. I'm in a Bible class right now, and one of the articles that I had to read was, one part of it just really stood out to me, and I thought that maybe I could read that, because I know we've done song lyrics and devotionals, but I don't think we've ever done an actual article written by anybody before. So, this article is by, and excuse me while I completely get his name pronounced completely wrong, but I think it's by Henry Nouwen. And I had never heard of him before, but this article is called Moving from Solitude to Community to Ministry. And it was a very good article. It's a little bit long, I'm not going to lie. It was longer than I thought it would be, but it's a very, very good article. And one part of it, one small part of it that just really stood out to me was just something that I've been keeping in my mind, and I want to read to you a couple of quotes from that article that kind of sum up this one point, because I think it's a point that can really hit home for all of us. I know that it did for me. So first of all, Nouwen is talking about spending time with God, and he says, when you spend time with God, you're not only spending time with, obviously, the creator of the universe, the one who created you, but you're spending time with someone who calls you his beloved. You're spending time with someone who loves you so much that he calls you his beloved son or his beloved daughter. That's every time you spend time with God, you're spending time with both the creator of the universe and the person who loves you so much that he calls you the beloved. I mean, right there, right? You could make a whole vlog about that. That is just so beautiful that God is like that, right? But he doesn't stop there. That's a beautiful point on its own, but he continues. He takes it kind of in a different way. He goes a different way with it. He says, since God calls you his beloved daughter or son, if you keep that in mind, that he calls you the beloved, if you keep that in mind, you can deal with an enormous amount of success as well as an enormous amount of failure without losing your identity. Because your identity is that you are his beloved. I love that. That's your identity. That's what everyone as Christians should identify as. And I know that it hit home for me probably because I definitely struggle with that. I mean, I think we all do. We all try to find our identity in okay, well, here's, how much I've accomplished in my life. Or here's, I did really well in this area. So this area is my identity. For me, it's probably, trying to think what it is for me, it's probably just am I a good friend to that person? And those don't have to be bad things. Am I accomplished? Am I a good friend? Those are all good things. They're not bad things, but they're also things of this world, and therefore they should not be our identity, because that's ever changing, right? I love how he says that this frees you up to deal with failure and success, because you'll get both in the world, right? You can do really, really well and really, really poorly, in a very short amount of time. And I love how no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what the world sees our identity as, and no matter what worldly thing that we label ourselves with, no matter whether that's going good or bad, we still can find comfort in our identity, because our identity is not in those things. We can work at those things, we can try hard for those things, those are good things to strive for, but our identity, when it comes down to it, is not in any of those things. Our identity is found in the fact that we are a beloved son or daughter of Christ, and that is where our identity lies. And I love how he says that just frees you up. That frees you up, right? That frees you up to not worry about the world and what the world sees as success, and what the world sees as an identity or a status symbol or anything like that. We don't have to worry about that stuff, because we already have the greatest status. We are beloved by Jesus Christ. And he says later on down in the article that because we are his beloved, we don't have to be afraid anymore. And of course that really spoke to me, right? Because we are his beloved, we do not have to be afraid, because he has labeled us his beloved, and that is all that we need right there, to be his sons and his daughters, and to remember that we are beloved. So I hope that helped you today to maybe not find your identity in the world, or in the false labels that we put on ourselves, or the false labels that have been put on you. It's very easy to take on labels that don't belong to you, that you do not need. So I hope today you just remember that you only have one label on you and one identity attached to you, and that is that you are a beloved child of God, and that is more than enough. God is good all the time. Goodbye.